Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Sir Worldwide. And again, I'd like to thank all my loyal subscribers and people who understand what I'm trying to portray on this channel right here. First of all, not Dr. Sebi, but trust me, I've read as many books as he has and maybe more. 6 years ago, I did have prostate cancer. You can look it up. It's on this channel right here. And the powers that be gave me the wisdom to know what to do to get rid of that cancer, not the doctor. I'm not anti-doctor. I'm just anti-sickness, okay? The reason I'm saying this is because we got something going on around the world right now that if we focus on how to get rid of this COVID, then it's gone. Like they got a vaccine they're working on, they're testing, they said they have one that might work, but who knows how long that's going to take for them to bring that to the people so we can get rid of COVID. I'm going to talk about something that I know works, okay? And I'm going to show it to you, right? Now, around the world, we got this thing called Aloe Vera, okay? All the stores in this city sell it, right? You can get it for 99 cents. I happen to pay $1.99 today for this just to show you this aloe vera, right? And my friend Chico, he told me what to do with this a few years ago, right? And he sells it because it cuts fat. Don't let fat stay in the body. But if you deal with aloe vera on a daily basis, your immune system is so strong you can't catch a cold. You won't never have the flu. And COVID, this aloe vera, laugh at it, all right? So what I'm saying, I'm going to tell you how I do it, right? I buy about 5 of these. I buy them because my plants grow and take 3 years for this plant to grow to maturity, right? And I cut the sides off. And then I cut it in small squares. And I put it in a pot that will hold 2 gallons of water. And I turn the fire down real low. Let it cook for 4 to 5 hours. You know how I know it's done? It turns red, like a deep red sunset. It turns that color, it turns red. You know it's done. Put it in dark bottles, okay, because it's light sensitive. And you can't drink a lot of it. If you do, you're acting like an idiot, for real, because it's that powerful. 2 shots in the morning, 2 shots at night before you go to bed. Like I said, you won't catch no COVID. You won't catch a cold, flu. None of that's going to come near you because you built your immune system. Add D3, add zinc, add vitamin C, add everything you think you need off the shelf to make your immune system strong, keep it strong. Wash your hands, wear your mask, do social distancing, right? And COVID will be a thing of the past. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Example, my mom had. First of all, my mom told me when I was a little boy, always tell the truth. So I don't lie. I'm telling the truth about this aloe, okay? She had a toothache a few years ago. And I said, Ma, go to the refrigerator, get the aloe and fill your mouth full of it. Which she did. I'm on the computer. I forgot all about her. I look up. I say, hey, Ma, what happened to toothache? She said, oh, it's gone. I said, really? I said, look, keep putting the aloe in your mouth. Just don't swallow a lot of it. And one day, it healed her mouth. She ain't seen the dentist yet. What I'm saying is aloe is so powerful, and it grows all over the world, everywhere. Get the thick ones. They got aloe cousins that look like aloe, but it's just, Get the one I showed you. It's thick. We got a very popular, well-known market here, store. Huge store. They got plenty of aloe vera in these plastic containers, right? And it says on the container, it does not taste bad, which means they don't put sugar in it. Like I said, I tell the truth because sugar, cancer feeds on sugar. Since I had cancer, I'm telling you, leave that sugar alone. Now, I ain't Mr. Perfect. I do like dark chocolate now. I'll go there. Sure will. Okay, switch reels. I'm going to talk about something that we need to understand, okay? We understand there's right and there's wrong. And we need to understand also that you can't be half pregnant. Either you're pregnant or you're not. So, same thing with crazy. Either you're crazy or you're not. We got a couple of Americans in this country that are crazy. And I don't like to talk about the politics, but that dude is nuts. And so is Kanye West. This guy wants to take votes away from the Democratic frontrunner, which will put this other guy back in office, right? And here's the guy talking about Harriet Tubman, talking bad about Harriet Tubman. Come on. And the other guy, we getting ready to have a $20 bill with her on the cover. He said, no, we ain't having that. That's just the racism part coming out, right? I'm through with that, all right? Let's go to something else. I heard today on the radio that everybody in Washington respected John Lewis, okay? Except the guy that he was fighting. And you know who I'm talking about, all right? Look, tell all the young people to look up the history of John Lewis and what he did. He's a great man. He's gone. The good die young. All right, now, you know these guys that I'm going to bring on right now, they don't hit home runs. They always hit grand slams. Seriously. I'm stepping aside because they got it going on like that.
Hey, welcome to Serve Worldwide. I'm Don.
And I'm Carrie.
Yeah, and today we're just discussing all the things that are going on in the world that are prevalent. Like it was mentioned that Kanye West is doing what he's doing and all his little mischievous things. And
Kanye. I really don't have an opinion about Kanye or too much about politics, but I have a lot to say about just mental health. Because Vietnam veterans.
Correct.
You had some information about the Vietnam veterans, some statistics and everything we were looking up.
Right. Exactly. Well, what I'll say about the vets, you know, we need them. We need to acknowledge them. We need to honor them, even though there are certain programs. And then we have Veterans Day, which acknowledges them for what they did in all the wars.
But you know what? There's another day, March 29th, and President Obama set it up that March 29th, it started in 2012, that is Vietnam Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Specifically, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is, because the Vietnam War was pretty much called the Dirty War. It wasn't actually a war, it was a conflict, but for somehow they changed the narrative by saying war, which it was. They were warring on a people, but we invaded them in the name of stopping communism. So that's how it all got started. But you know, war has been going on from the very beginning in this country, and we have to acknowledge those that have served in all the wars, starting at the Revolutionary War all the way up to the wars that are going on in Afghanistan and the quote-unquote Middle East. So
but our soldiers, when they come home, there's some issues.
Lots of issues.
A lot of issues, mainly because they're disillusioned.
Right.
And one of my sons, he did the Navy, but he did 4 years of college first. Mm-hmm. And then he did the Navy, and because he had already finished college, they wanted him to be an officer.
Right.
And he refused to be an officer. He said, "Ma, ain't nothing but a lot of high schoolers, people coming out of high school, and they don't know anything, and they jump right into this military lifestyle, and all they know is what they're being told. And then when they get out of the military, they're disillusioned because
Right.
they come out a little bit more mature, and then they probably just trying to figure out, why did I go in the first place?"
Right. Well, they had a chance to see the world, and they got a chance to
maybe
look.
get education.
Yeah,
get all the incentives they say.
Right. Yeah. You know, the GI Bill, the monies, but they, in actuality, if you really look at it and the hours that they put in, they only make about $5.35 an hour for all the time. You know, they're on super nuclear subs, they're on all the aircraft carriers, they're flying all the high-tech planes, they're the ones that are in control of the nuclear arsenal. There's a lot of things that they do have, but then it's
a lot of great skills.
Yeah, a lot of great skills,
Yeah.
but I
But
mean,
they're disillusioned as to, why are we fighting people in another country? Why are we going to another country? Has anybody ever read The Art of War? in the book, The Art of War, it says, dude, you know, you don't go to somebody else's land and take over. You'll exhaust your resources.
Right, definitely.
You know, so first of all, I always think about that when we go to another person's country, fighting on their land. Nobody has attacked America.
No.
So, and to me, that's what the military is for, not for attacking.
It was for defense, not
right,
offense.
for defense. That's what I would think.
Right.
But the issue is that when they come out of the military, they suffer from a lot of mental health issues because it's probably rooted in guilt.
Right.
You know, they might have
definitely.
killed somebody, or maybe one of their homies lost their lives and everything like that. So they have a lot of guilt going on and a lot of negative self-talk.
Right, exactly. Well, if you go into another person's country and you don't even know the people and you just are instructed because this is your mission, these are your orders, this is your objective, and you have to meet that objective because of the orders that was given to you from your superiors. So bottom line is, so a lot of guys kill themselves. There's a lot of suicide in the military now because they've gone and killed people, innocent men, women, and children, with no reason and no just cause, but that was their mission, that was their objective, and they have a lot of remorse for it, but they can't show it. And they end up with the
PTSD.
Exactly, the
Post-traumatic stress.
Right.
What's it called? Post-traumatic stress
disorder. Right, exactly. And that's part of the mental illness problem. And you know, the substance abuse is the anesthetizer, it's the medicine for having to deal with what they have to deal with. And in the Warrior Project, it's 1 in 3 vets' lives lives with PTSD. Yeah, so
that is something.
So mental illness is something that we need to discuss, and you're more of a
I love talking about the mind, mainly because people use the word mind so frivolously, as if we're supposed to know what the mind is.
Right.
There's a lot of components, a lot of faculties of the mind, a lot of characteristics of the mind and everything. But a lot of people don't know what the mind consists of.
Right.
For example, the body is matter and the mind is energy. You can't see the mind.
Right.
So anything that you can't see is basically energy. And you can also say that that's spiritual.
Correct.
So anything that's unseen, but it's a force and it exists inside of a body, but it's unseen. So you can say that that's spiritual, like I said before. So a lot of people are not into the spiritual side of themselves. For example, your thoughts. You can't see thoughts, but it's a spiritual thing. Your imagination, nobody can see your imagination but you until you actually create something with your imagination.
And that's
your memories.
Right.
Memories are all a part of the mind. You have intuition. You have your emotions. Nobody can see your emotions until you express them. So many of these unseen forces, they creep up in somebody's existence, but they don't know how to deal with them because we're not taught how to deal with the spiritual side of ourselves. We're not taught how to deal with our energy. We're taught how to deal with our body.
Right.
And so we got the psychotic psychiatrists who come in and make an assessment and they give you drugs instead of actually dealing with your spiritual side.
Exactly.
They don't tell you how to control your train of thoughts. They don't even give you train of thoughts, a specific train of thoughts or a frequency of thought for your ailments.
Right.
So the pharmaceutical business and everything is a big business, and there's a lot of doctors out there that are attacking it and blowing the whistle on all the tricks and lies that the AMA is all about. There's
the CDC.
Yeah. So Dr. Andrew Kaufman specifically, he's really given a lot of great history in this one film that he made. It's on YouTube right now. It's called Hippocratic Hypocrisy. And he gives a lot of history on the American Medical Association, how they got started, and their whole thing was to get rid of natural health.
Right.
Because they can't make money off of aloe vera.
That's correct.
If you can go pick aloe vera for your ailments, then what the hell? They can't make no pharmaceutical money. So it's kind of against the law. A doctor can get disbarred, that's a lawyer, But a doctor can lose his license
right.
if he tells you to go take some aloe vera.
Right.
Or
exactly.
if he tells you to meditate and calm yourself down, put some positive thoughts inside of your head. They can lose their license for that.
Exactly.
If they're not telling you to take pharmaceuticals, do some surgery, or get some radiation,
right,
they can lose their license.
I know. The thing of it is, like they say in the pharmaceutical industry, there's no profit in cure. There's profit in treatment.
Yeah. Oh my God, drugs of all things.
Drugs, yeah.
It's like, so, the only reason we can probably talk like this is because of what our soldiers fought for. They fought for this freedom of speech. They're not clear what they're fighting for. They're fighting, of course, for capitalism.
Correct.
Because they want certain territories because of the mineral wealth that's there.
Correct.
But they're also fighting for the freedoms of the Constitution. And I do appreciate that. I do appreciate having the freedom of speech to say what I say, because a lot of countries, they will not let you go against their government or say anything bad about what their leaders are doing. So I thank you, America, for allowing me to have this kind of freedom of speech to talk about you, to talk about the things that are not working. And this seems to be a country that works on itself.
Right.
It really is, honestly, because we've come a long way since slavery.
Yeah.
And we've come a long way from the Voting Rights Act for women. It's
Right.
a lot of benefits that are out here for us, but we do have to have enough curiosity to go out there and find them, and enough enthusiasm, and not be as pessimistic as a lot of people are becoming. They're saying, so some doctors are saying that this COVID disease, people are being hospitalized, but they're not dying from the virus. They're dying from hopelessness.
Correct.
From
Isolation.
being depressed. Exactly. So we have to help all people. It's becoming more and more important for people to really take charge of their life by eating right, by thinking right, and being able to speak the language of a doctor.
Right.
You need to know anatomy. You need to know physiology. You need to know how the mind works and how to stay healthy. This is a movement to become self-empowered.
Right. And
go ahead.
And you have to know yourself. You have to study your body. You have to understand what your aches and pains are. You have to understand what massage can do for you.
Self-diagnosis is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And all the elements, good eating, good hydration, which is drinking water, or drinking fruit juices, which are the living waters that come from plants and fruits, especially the aloe vera plant. And so, therefore, everything has been designed by the
universe.
The universe,
by the
Earth.
This is a really great time to be living in because of YouTube University, and it's so much awesome information out there on how to take care of yourself. And positive people are really doing a great job of putting out positive information. But you can only attract that information when you decide to be a positive person. Positive people attract positive and helpful information. Negative thinking, fear, doubt, disbelief, all kind of insane thoughts, that's all you're going to continue to attract. So when you do the opposite, which is God is positive. God is not negative. When you decide to be a God or work on your God self, then you're going to start attracting all the best things that life has to offer, because despair and hopelessness and apathy, it's being promoted big time.
Exactly.
Big time.
And
the fear, it's like, oh my, I can't believe they're lying to people like this. It's like unbelievable.
The ultimate fear factor is in play right now.
Wow.
And they have us confused with the narrative, whether it's COVID or Corona. Think about it. When they mention it, 1 minute they're saying, oh, they died from COVID. Then the next minute they say they died from the Corona. Now, which is it? They're playing games with your mind.
I wish we could name names, because when you say they, them, the government, we need to name names eventually. So we got to do enough research to be able to bring specific people to the
bring them to the carpet.
Table.
So
it's like,
call them to the carpet.
Why are you playing games? I mean, we can say the media, but who's owning the media? Who is allowing all the misinformation and the confusion to go through the airwaves and keep people on an insane level or on a fearful level?
Right. And
however, all of us have to go to war against our own internal fears. So it's a personal thing.
Right.
And it's a national and international thing, because we do have people promoting fear, and death, and loss. So people are doing this deliberately. So people have to deliberately figure out how to promote positivity, confidence, assurance, and all the best that life has to offer. People have to think big and not think lack and think small. There is enough room on the planet for everyone, or else the earth would not allow you to be here. There's enough food. I mean, one country or one state in the United States can feed everybody.
Correct.
I mean, China can produce enough silk. Well, we can all wear silks.
Silk. Right, exactly.
Okay, there's enough gold and there's enough resources. This planet has no lack. So there's no reason to kill millions and millions of people. There just really isn't.
Right.
But what has to be done is the minds have to be cultivated. And that is where many people have dropped the ball in cultivating the minds of the population, so that they can figure out, what am I here on this planet for? I'm here to add and to benefit and to leave something that is awesome. That's what we're all here for.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we're not here to live in fear. No. And then we can say fear is, constant and perpetual fear is like a
population.
It's like a mental illness.
Yes.
And
a mental illness is something that requires psychiatric treatment.
Or
we looked it up in the dictionary. Yeah.
And it turns into, well, once you go to a psychiatrist, then they give you drugs, and then they numb you, anesthetize you from reality.
Drugs, surgery, and radiation. So those are the three things that they promote. And there's a natural way to heal yourself. So the drugs, surgery, and radiation, make that your very last resort. Go with this aloe vera. Go with the chlorella. Go with all the natural nutrients that's available out there. That's where your research should be. Do not misuse the internet and waste your time with useless information. You don't need to hear every COVID-19 story. It's useless. It's useless. So go with the health. Build your immune system, because you'll be fine.
Right, and the thing of it is, with the COVID situation, that there was one point that was made to me. If you're ill, okay, the hospital should be running over with patients that have quote unquote COVID. They have this dynamic. You can be asymptomatic, which means you have it and you don't show symptoms. Then you're symptomatic and you show symptoms. But they're saying
symptoms of what, though?
Yeah, exactly. So now a flu, okay. Now everybody gets over the flu sooner or later. So now saying one person can pass it to you and not show symptoms, but then you get it. If you got it, you should be showing symptoms, and if you're not showing symptoms, you do not have it. Okay, let's make that clear. That's all we're saying.
And if you really can't breathe, you definitely need help, but you don't need a respirator.
Right.
A respirator. You just basically probably need some oxygen. How about that part? So they're killing people. Well, I'm not going to even go there. I'm not going to even go there, because that's a whole nother story. Definitely check out Dr. Andrew Kaufman's video, Hippocratic Hypocrisy. And it really gets into the history of the AMA and gets into how to determine if you're being told the truth or not from your medical professionals.
Exactly. So here we are. We're just giving you a summation of what we see in the ongoing world, and we're having a continuation of dialogue, conversations about many different subjects that affect us mentally, and it puts stress on us, and it makes us confused, and we have to move past confusion and get to clarity.
Yeah, stress is just a state of mind. If you have prayer or meditation, you can overcome your stress. Actually, if you just breathe, instead of breathing shallow, breathe deep and slow.
Exactly.
And it relaxes you. You don't have to do a whole lot of things. So it's a bunch of information on the internet on how to heal yourself.
Exactly.
And we need to feel empowered, not depressed or in despair or apathy. We need to feel empowered and assured that everything is going to be okay. It's not the end of the world, but it is the end of the world for some people. Every day somebody dies, so every day it is the end of the world for somebody.
Exactly.
But it's not the end of the world for you or me. We're going to be here. People come and people go. Nations rise and nations fall. So if this nation does not want to help the people, then it's just going to go away, just like all other nations.
Right, exactly. And
we'll still be here.
We're ready for the downfall of what was established as, quote unquote, the United States.
I mean, the way that it's being run now, it hurts a lot of people.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I don't want to say in conclusion, but and not giving a plug, but I'm giving a plug. There's this author, Queen Afua, and the book is titled Heal Thyself.
Yeah.
And you can heal yourself without all the different methods. Yeah, that
the three stupid stuff: pharmaceuticals,
radiation.
Surgery and radiation.
Right, and so
who does that? Because they can, because that's how they make their money.
Exactly.
Like, damn.
So we're going to leave it right there, and we'll see you in our next issue of Serve Worldwide. And you guys have a great and wonderful day, and we will see you and talk to you soon.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you. See, my mom told me to tell the truth. These big shoes to fill. These guys hit grand slam home runs every time they get in front of the camera. All right, so I'm going to sign off here, but I got to tell you something, all right? Look, this Aloe Vera is no joke, all right? It's the real deal, all right? And it will heal you. It will make your immune system strong, like mine, okay? And everybody that I know. Don't be selfish. Pass this word on. Tell everybody what you saw here. Send them to this channel, because I'm telling the truth, okay? Now, I got a message here for you young people. It could be for the males and females, for the young people. This is a story that happened to me when I was a young man, right? I wasn't a man yet. I was still a teenager, right? I think maybe 15. Me and my boys were 15 and 16 years old. Okay, I'm riding the train in the city of Chicago where I grew up. I'm riding the train late one night, right? So the train was virtually empty. There was one guy over there sitting in the corner. Looked like he was asleep. He had a trench coat on. He's slouching down like he might have been out of it or drunk. So one of my so-called friends said, hey, man, let's go over there and take that dude off, you know? So I said, you know what? There are chiefs and there are Indians. Remember this story now. I'm talking to the youth here. There are chiefs and Indians. I never wanted to be an Indian. I wanted to be a chief anyway, right? So when he said, let's go over there and take that guy off, you know what I said to him? I said, you and let's, y'all go ahead. I'm sitting right here. So they went over there. When they got over there in front of the guy, he opened the trench coat up. He had one of them big Roscoe's in his hand. He said, I've been waiting for you MFs to come over here. And they all went to jail. I decided right then, I would never be a follower. I'm going to be a leader. So I hope I've led you into a good area right here with this health thing. Aloha.